Hey, this is Acta and I'm back from yet another graduation trip to Japan. So, just like last time, I'll be going through where I went and what I bought along the way. As I managed to visit quite a number of limited time pop-up stores and events, I also managed to get a ton of cool footage that I'll be sharing on this channel in the upcoming days, whether you like it or not. First up, everyone's favorite secondhand store chain, Mandarake. I had the very good fortune of being able to visit the Mandarakes at Nakano, Akihabara, Shibuya, Umeda, and Grand Chaos or Osaka. And this is where I blew most of my budget. This time around, I went with a specific list of items in mind that I planned to get. Most of them were either too large or too expensive to ship, so I purposely waited for this trip to get them. It was a ton of work, lugging them all over the place, and you'll see what I mean. But hey, I saved on shipping. So the biggest item by far that could not even fit into my luggage and I had to carry with me onto the plane was this, the PROPLICA dual disc. As a huge fan of the OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monster series, I could not pick this up. Since I was young, it was always my dream to own a dual disc, and I still have the old Mattel one, right in my display case. However, while this PROPLICA dual disc is almost everything I could ask for in a dual disc replica, there are still quite a number of issues with it that I might go into further detail in a later video. Next up, we have another PROPLICA, but one that I initially planned on skipping out on until I saw reviews of it. It's the PROPLICA Sheer Heart Attack from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. Insert some random JoJo's meme right here. I had no idea that it had fully working caterpillar tracks and is capable of moving on its own. To top it off, you even get JoJo's and Star Platinum's voices in it. Moving on, we have all of the Kamen Rider related items, starting from the biggest one yet again. We have the CSM Hopper Zector. First off, I have to admit that I'm not the biggest fan of the Hopper brothers. Despite that, this was one of the CSM belts that I've been wanting to get for quite some time, because the belt itself is the same belt that's used by all the other Zect riders. On top of that, it includes the clock up function. Something that the original DX version was sorely missing. To display my Kamen Rider belts, and Lord knows I have many, I picked up a BAM! Display Dizer as well. I would have picked up more if I didn't display all of my CSMs in box or in case when it comes to the Faiz, Kaiser and Delta gears. If I ever do any more belt reviews or belt showcases, you can bet I'll be using this stand. At the moment, I have something really awesome planned for the CSM Zect belt and this display stand, so do look forward to that. I don't know how you guys feel about Kamen Rider Zio, but to me, it was more like Kamen Rider wasted potential. Despite that, however, I really fell in love with the Henshin sound and jingle for Grand Zio. So despite not even having the Zio driver anymore, I just had to pick up the Grand Zio Ride Watch. 그가 아기처럼 fast blade 히르기 가부터 되는 키바디 cage 더블 오스 포세 위자도 가임도 라이브 고스트 엑세이도 비루도 이와 카멘 라이더 그란도지요. Oh yeah! And lastly, in terms of the tokusatsu merchandise, we have the Kamen Rider Zangetsu Stage Play Blu-ray. I honestly don't understand why more people aren't interested in seeing this. I mean, a sequel play to Kamen Rider Gaim with Zangetsu as the main character with all of the original actors? Sign me up! We even get to see Zangetsu's Kachidoki form in this as well. Fun fact, Zangetsu's actor, this guy, right over here, front and center, actually plays Kogami in the Psycho Pass stage play, another series that was originally written by Urobuchi as well. How cool is that? Now, there were two versions of this available, one with the Zangetsu Kachidoki Ride Watch and one without. Honestly, the bonus Kachidoki Ride Watch was one of the biggest letdowns of all time. Why a Ride Watch and not the freaking Zangetsu Kachidoki lock seat instead? I will never know. And without the Zangetsu Kachidoki Ride Watch, I actually saved like $30 on this. These last few items from Mandarake are all Magical Girl related. From Precure, we have something that I've been looking for quite some time. The original card commune holder. This I bought to store my 15th anniversary card commune and its cards. I don't get why they didn't release the holder as well, but thankfully this fits perfectly. Aha! Here we have a loose SH Figuarts Zero Koppei-sama, the senpai fairy from Hardcatch Precure, one of my all-time favorite Magical Girl anime. Well, actually, one of my all-time favorite anime period. I can't get into too much detail because spoilers, but while he may look derpy and ridiculous, he becomes one of the most badass characters in the entire series. He'll go into the center of my Hardcatch Precure figure display. Oh, and we end on a rather big one of the most expensive items I purchased on this trip, rivaling both the Dual Disc and the Hopper Zector. I'm not sure how many of you guys know or have seen the show Akazukin Cha-Cha, but it was one of my personal favorite Magical Girl anime growing up. The opening theme, Kimi no Omoi, is quite popular, seeing that SMAP covered it. I've pretty much completed the entire set of roleplay weapon toys, including the bow, the shield, and the rather awesome transforming phoenix sword, and this was the only piece that I was missing from the set. The necklace, bracelet, and ring that allows Cha-Cha and her friends to transform Cha-Cha into the magical princess. If you haven't seen the series, it is freaking awesome! See, what I tell you, pretty awesome, right? Interestingly enough, just like with all of the other Akazukin Cha-Cha roleplay toys, this was made by Takara before they became Takara Tomy. Of course, in addition to Mandarake and all of the other secondhand stores, I could not stop by all the other stores at Akihabara and Denden Town, which is pretty much the Akihabara of Osaka, for those of you who didn't know. Sadly, I didn't really pick many things up from those stores as my luggage was already getting rather cramped, and most of the stuff sold there were either current stuff that I could easily get online or character goods like keychains and straps. I mean, how many straps can one guy have, right? Answer? Way too many. Regardless, I did manage to pick up a number of cool items nonetheless. We first have a very unique gashapon toy, a rather realistic model of a dango mushi or pillbug. Instead of using a capsule, the toy itself is a capsule. Rather ingenious that. Next up, we have a plush of Yurukamp's Nadeshiko. Unlike most other plushies, her clothes are actually removable. No, it's not what you think. I actually really enjoy the amount of work and effort that went into the detailing of this plush, despite its relatively small size. Now, if you know me, you'd know that I don't collect Nandroids. I'm just not a fan of the chibi aesthetic, especially when there are so many other figures out there that are far more accurate. However, I recently fell in love with Hajime from Gatchaman Crowds, and the only figure of her available was an android. I don't know if she's super popular or super unpopular, but none of the Mandarakes or secondhand shops like Jungle or Surugaya had her. Miraculously, when I went into a soft map to find a Japanese 2DS, I found one. Just sitting there on a shelf of Nandroids, slightly sun-faded and dusty, but I found her. This really must have been fate. Again, if you haven't seen Gatchaman Crowds yet, I highly recommend it, so please do check it out. Speaking of a Japanese 2DS, here it is. Curse Nintendo and their draconian region locking policies. I have a couple of Japan-only 3DS games that I've been dying to play, like this Kamen Rider one, and I've only just finally managed to get around to picking up a Japanese 2DS for a very, very good price. Yeah, take that Axel Crimson Smash! Ugh, how cool is that? Alrighty, with all of the main stores out of the way, it's time to visit all of the series and franchise-specific stores. From the Marvel/Star Wars pop-up store, I picked up this rather nifty Darth Vader space opera toy, which is pretty much a tiny Darth Vader figurine that dances along to several pieces of music. Kind of like the Pop and Step figures, if you've seen those. There are many other characters, like the Stormtrooper, Boba Fett, C-3PO, R2-D2, Yoda, Chewbacca, so on and so forth. But Darth Vader is definitely the most iconic, and especially considering the fact that this one actually plays the Imperial March. From the very cool Digimon pop-up store, they have like a ton of plushies. We first have this basic but still awesome nonetheless Agumon and Wargreymon keychain in the shape of a tag. And, wait for it, the pièce de résistance, however you pronounce it, a gorgeous replica ring of, well, the Holy Ring from Digimon, most famously seen on Tailmon's Tail. And for comparison's sake, here is the Holy Ring that you see on the back of the Digivolving Spirits Angel Woman figure. In addition to being able to wear it like a regular ring, this ring actually comes with a chain as well, so that you can wear it around your neck. While it's colored gold, however, the ring is unfortunately made of 925 silver and will probably tarnish horribly, just like my Madoka Soul Gem ring. The K-On! Pop-up store, however, had to be one of the biggest disappointments for me, unfortunately. Not because it wasn't amazing or nostalgia-inducing in its own right or anything, but because pretty much all of its merchandise, including all of the t-shirts, the squishy K-On! Brew keychains, and Yui-related goods was sold out. And I was there just like a couple of days into its opening. Fear the spending power of the Japanese otaku. Still not wanting to come away empty-handed, I managed to score myself a set of K-On! Donuts, and yes, these are actual donuts. I didn't even realize that they were actual donuts until after I bought this. Playing on the whole idea of edible records or something of the sort, and a rubber record keychain featuring Basco Yui. From the Evangelion store in Ikebukuro, I was tempted to pick up Rei's interface headset that was modeled onto a headband, but I sprang for this rather simple nanoblock model kit of Unit 01 instead, as I already have replicas of both Rei and Asuka's interface headsets. On to the Pokemon Centers. Now, I have a very strange relationship with Pokemon. While I love playing the games and watching the anime growing up, my love for Pokemon has kind of fizzled out with the more recent installments of the franchise. Now, as a proud otaku, I'm far more attached to the trainer characters and roleplay toys than I am to the actual Pokemon themselves. So for this trip to Tokyo, Shibuya, and Osaka Pokemon Centers, I managed to pick up this Hikari/Dawn plush. Really adorable. Unfortunately, the May/Rosa one was sadly sold out. And a Premier Ball. My goodness. And a Premier Ball. There we go, containing candy and a rubber stamp to add to my Pokeball and a Master Ball, which I picked up on my previous trip. All visitors to the Shibuya Pokemon Center also received a limited edition Shibuya Pikachu trading card. What trip to Osaka would be complete without going to Universal Studios? As mentioned in my previous Japan haul video, I am a huge fan of the Harry Potter franchise. I was obsessed with the series growing up. I've read the books more times than I like to admit, and I'm even in the midst of developing my own original card game based on the series. Don't mind the Magic the Gathering card templates. This time around, I not only managed to get myself a solid metal butterbeer mug, I also managed to get me a delicious bottle of frothing pumpkin juice and a box of exploding bonbons, one of my absolute favorites from my last trip. They're pretty much white chocolate with popping candy in it, simple but excruciatingly delicious. Not only that, I also finally managed to add to my collection Accio Horcrux, replicas of Slytherin's locket and Malvolo Gon's ring, aka the Resurrection Stone. The locket needs no introduction and is one of my personal favorite Horcruxes. In addition to all of the parallels that it shares with the One Ring from Lord of the Rings, it gets featured really heavily in the series. And of course here, Noble Collections did a phenomenal job. Just look at it sparkling and catching all of that light. And of course, yes, it does open. In addition to also being one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, as evidenced from the Peveril brothers symbol engraved into the ring, this, along with the other ones over here, is another one of the Deathly Hallows. Honestly, it's a real pity that they don't sell replicas of the Invisibility Cloak. I mean, you'd think that it'd be a no-brainer. How am I supposed to become the Master of Death now with just the Resurrection Stone and the Elder Wand? Coincidentally, both of these Horcruxes were destroyed by the Sword of Godric Gryffindor, which I also happen to have right here. We're almost at the end, and as with every other trip to Japan I've made, I made it a point to watch a couple of movies in cinemas. I managed to catch both the live-action Hellgirl movie and the Saikano movie and purchase their movie pamphlets/programs. Interestingly enough, Japan, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the few countries that sell programs to go along with the movies, like the kind you get when you go for a play. As a fan of Hellgirl, I really enjoyed how they managed to bring the characters and the world to life. But that's pretty much it. If you ask me, the plot they went with was kind of random and didn't tie into the history, mythos, or lore of Emma I herself, which I think would have made for a much better standalone film. The Saikano movie, on the other hand, was absolutely freaking brilliant. 10 upon 10. It was not only a beautiful end to the series, it really inspired me to make some headway on a business idea that I've had for quite some time. Honestly, if my business idea bears any kind of fruit, you guys will be the first to know. Megumi is just too perfect for this world, and I'm so happy to score her Seiyu's autograph at last year's AFA. This final piece of merchandise I managed to pick up during the trip is kinda tokusatsu related, but in a really roundabout way, and you'll see what I mean. This time around, I had the distinct pleasure of visiting the National Museum of Nature and Science, where some of the scenes from Kamen Rider Double were filmed. I not only got to see a ton of cool fossils, I also managed to bring one home with me in the form of a rather simple ammonite from the museum gift shop. And that's pretty much it for my 2019 Japan haul. Well, technically I also managed to score a whole bag of Dagashi. Yes, Dagashi Kashi is freaking amazing. Please watch it if you have the chance. And a whole stack of Edo Doujinshi. And perhaps I'll do a video going through these in more detail, though I'm not sure how I'm going to get past the YouTube censors in the case of the Doujinshi. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I suppose. With that, I hope you enjoyed this whole video and do look forward to more videos on this channel as I try my best to reach 100,000 subs. I really want that YouTube plaque! If you have any suggestions or recommendations, please feel free to write them down in the comments below. So, this is Acta saying, see you guys in the next episode. On top of that, it also includes the clock up function as well. It's on the other side. The original card commune card holder. This, not card holder, it's a normal holder.